Stella slammed the door of her family's colonial home in suburban Chicago, the echo reverberating through the quiet street like a gunshot. Her father's words still burned in her ears. "You're no daughter of mine if you choose this path." As she stumbled into the night, tears blurring the streetlights, she never imagined that the woman who would pull her from this abyss would shatter her world even more. Stella's heart pounded as she wandered the dimly lit streets, her mind a whirlwind of betrayal and confusion. How could her own father, the man who had taught her to ride a bike and cheered at her soccer games, turn so cold? The argument had erupted over dinner when she finally confessed her feelings for women. Feelings she'd buried for years under layers of denial and fear. "It's unnatural," he'd spat, his face twisted in disgust, while her mother sat silent, eyes downcast, as if Stella's truth had erased her from existence. She replayed the scene in her head. The clatter of forks, the suffocating tension, the way her brother had shifted uncomfortably, avoiding her gaze. What did I expect? She thought bitterly. Acceptance? In a family where church on Sundays was non-negotiable and tradition was law? She pulled her coat tighter against the autumn chill. Her phone buzzing ignored in her pocket. It was probably her mom, pleading for her to come back, to pretend it never happened. But Stella couldn't pretend anymore. At 25 she'd spent too long hiding, dating men who left her empty, forcing smiles at family gatherings while her soul screamed for authenticity. The weight of it all pressed down, making each step feel like wading through mud. Why me? Why couldn't I just be normal? The questions looped endlessly, fueling a self-loathing she'd fought so hard to suppress. That's when she saw her, Summer, leaning against a lamppost outside a cozy coffee shop, scrolling through her phone with an effortless grace that stopped Stella in her tracks. Summer looked up, her blue eyes piercing the darkness, and smiled. "Rough night?" she asked, her voice warm like honey. Stella nodded, words failing her. Before she knew it, they were inside, nursing hot lattes, and Stella poured out her story in a rush of vulnerability she'd never allowed before. Summer listened, really listened, her hand occasionally brushing Stella's in quiet reassurance. "I've been there," Summer said softly. "Family rejection, the whole 9 yards. But you don't have to face it alone." As the hours slipped by, Stella felt a spark ignite. Something real, something that made the pain recede. Summer was 27, a graphic designer from New York who'd moved to Chicago for a fresh start after her own coming-out disaster. She spoke of her conservative parents in the South, how they'd cut her off financially, forcing her to rebuild from scratch. "It gets better," she promised, her fingers lingering on Stella's. By closing time, Stella had Summer's number and a tentative plan to meet again. Walking home, she clung to that hope like a lifeline. Maybe this was fate, she thought. Maybe Summer was the one who could show her how to survive this. The next few weeks blurred into a whirlwind of stolen moments. They met in parks, cafes, anywhere away from prying eyes. Summer's laugh was infectious, her stories of resilience inspiring. She introduced Stella to a hidden world of LGBTQ+ support groups, where Stella heard tales that mirrored her own, parents disowning children, friends turning away. But with Summer it felt manageable. "You're strong," Summer would whisper during their walks along Lake Michigan, her arm linked with Stella's. Stella's inner turmoil eased. She started journaling her thoughts, dissecting the guilt that gnawed at her. Am I betraying my family by choosing happiness? Or are they betraying me by not accepting who I am? Yet doubts crept in. Her phone calls home went unanswered, her father's voicemail a cold barrier. At work as a marketing assistant, she faked normalcy, but inside the conflict raged. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Summer suggested they grab dinner at a queer-friendly bar downtown. Stella hesitated. Public displays weren't her thing yet, but Summer's enthusiasm won her over. As they sat in a booth, hands clasped under the table, Stella felt alive. "This is what freedom tastes like," Summer said, clinking glasses. But as the night wore on, Summer's phone buzzed incessantly. She glanced at it, her expression flickering with something unreadable before silencing it. "Work stuff," she muttered. Stella pushed the unease aside. After all, Summer was her anchor. Their bond deepened with each shared secret. Stella confessed her fear of eternal damnation, ingrained from years of religious upbringing. Summer countered with stories of affirming faith communities, challenging Stella's beliefs. "God doesn't make mistakes," she'd say, her conviction soothing Stella's storms. But the pressure mounted. Stella's mother finally called, voice trembling. "Your father is heartbroken. Come home and talk." Stella agonized over it that night, lying awake beside Summer in her small apartment. Should I go? Would it change anything? The decision loomed, a fork in her fractured life. In the end she went. The family meeting was a battlefield. Her father quoted Bible verses, her mother wept, her brother mediated awkwardly. "We love you, but this lifestyle." Her father trailed off, the word lifestyle like a slap. Stella defended herself, voice shaking. "It's not a choice. It's me." She left more wounded, but Summer was waiting with open arms. "You did the right thing," she assured. Stella clung to that, ignoring the growing whispers in her mind. Was Summer too perfect? Too eager to fill the voids? But in the warmth of her embrace, doubts faded. Little did she know the real storm was brewing. Stella's days began to orbit around Summer, each encounter pulling her deeper into a world where she felt seen. Work became a blur. Her mind wandered to texts from Summer, planning weekend getaways or quiet nights in. But the societal shadows loomed. At a company event, a colleague's offhand joke about "those people" in the pride parade stung like acid. Stella bit her tongue, but inside rage simmered. Why should I hide? She questioned herself. Summer encouraged her to speak up next time. Silence is complicity. It empowered her, yet terrified her. The fear of losing her job, her stability, in a city where acceptance varied by neighborhood, weighed heavy. Their first real date was at a jazz club in Wrigleyville, the music pulsing like Stella's heartbeat. Summer looked stunning in a red dress that hugged her curves, her confidence radiating. They danced close, bodies brushing in ways that sent shivers down Stella's spine. No one stared. In this bubble they were just two people in love. Love? The word hit Stella like a revelation. Was that what this was? Her inner monologue raced. I've never felt this with anyone. But what if it's too soon? What if I'm just rebounding from family trauma? As weeks turned to months, intimacy grew, not physical in overt ways but emotional. They shared dreams. Stella wanted to travel, escape the Midwest's grip. Summer spoke of starting her own design firm. But cracks appeared. Summer's phone habits persisted. Secretive glances, quick dismissals. One night, as they cooked pasta in Stella's kitchen, it rang again. Summer stepped out, her whispered conversation inaudible but tense. When she returned, her smile was forced. "Old friend," she said. Stella nodded, but doubt festered. "Am I paranoid? Or is something off?" The turning point came at a support group meeting. Summer introduced Stella to friends, all survivors of similar rejections. One woman, Mia, pulled Stella aside. "Summer's great at helping others heal. Just watch your heart." The warning lingered, but Stella dismissed it as jealousy. Her own family pressures escalated. Her brother texted, urging reconciliation. "Dad's softening," he claimed. Stella debated, her mind a battlefield of loyalty versus self-preservation. Summer advised against it. "They need time. Focus on us." Us, the word was intoxicating. But isolation crept in. Stella's old friends drifted, uncomfortable with her changes. One brunch turned awkward when a friend asked, "Is this a phase?" Stella defended fiercely, but the hurt cut deep. Alone later, she wept. "Why must I lose everything to gain myself?" Summer consoled her, planning a road trip to Michigan's dunes for escape. The drive was liberating, wind whipping through open windows as they sang along to playlists. At a secluded beach, they sat watching waves, Summer's head on Stella's shoulder. "I love you," Summer whispered. Stella's heart soared. "I love you too." But even then a nagging voice whispered, "Is this real?" Reality intruded soon after. Back in Chicago, Stella's father showed up at her apartment unannounced. "We need to talk," he said, eyes weary. The conversation was raw. Regrets, apologies mixed with pleas for her to try therapy. Stella stood firm. "This is who I am." He left defeated, but the encounter shook her. She confided in Summer, expecting support. Instead, Summer seemed distant, changing the subject. "Let's not dwell," she said. Stella's unease grew. Why the avoidance? The first major conflict erupted over Thanksgiving. Stella's family invited her, minus any +1. She wanted to skip it, but Summer pushed. Confront them. Show strength. Reluctantly, Stella went alone, enduring pointed questions and sidelong glances. Returning exhausted, she found Summer's apartment dark. A note on the counter. Out with friends. Back late. Hurt turned to anger. Where was the support she preached? They argued the next day. Stella accusing Summer of hypocrisy, Summer defending her need for space. I'm not your therapist, Summer snapped. The words stung, revealing fissures. Stella retreated inward, questioning everything. Was Summer using her as a distraction from her own unresolved pain? The thought poisoned their moments. Yet she couldn't let go. Summer was her mirror, her guide. A surprise dinner mended things temporarily. Candlelight, apologies, promises. But as winter set in, secrets simmered. One evening, rifling through Summer's drawer for a charger, Stella found an old photo. Summer with a man, arms around each other, dated recently. Her world tilted. Who is he? Why hide this? Confrontation was inevitable. It's my ex, Summer admitted reluctantly. We were engaged before I came out. But the timeline didn't add up. The photo was from last year after her supposed move. Summer deflected. Ancient history. Stella pressed, but Summer shut down. The trust cracked and Stella's inner turmoil exploded. Am I a fool? Has this all been a lie? She stormed out, the cold air mirroring her chilling realization. Yet she returned the next day, drawn back by the pull of what they had. Little fractures, she told herself. We can fix this. The photo haunted Stella. A ghost in their relationship. She tried to bury it, focusing on the good. Lazy Sundays in bed discussing books. Walks in snowy parks where Summer's gloved hand warmed hers. But suspicion festered like an untreated wound. Why the secrecy? Stella's mind raced with scenarios. Was Summer bisexual, still entangled? The moral quandary tore at her. Demand truth and risk losing her, or ignore and erode herself? Society's gaze intensified the pressure. At a holiday party, a mutual friend's comment, "You two are so cute, like a real couple," sparked whispers. Stella overheard slurs in the bathroom. The sting of judgment reigniting old fears. Back home, she vented to Summer. Why can't people just let us be? Summer's response was sharp. Grow a thicker skin. The dismissal hurt, highlighting their differences. Stella valued vulnerability. Summer armored herself with deflection. A pivotal betrayal unfolded mid-December. Stella's work promotion came with a team dinner. She invited Summer, eager to integrate her into her life. Summer agreed but arrived late, flustered. During toasts, her phone lit up with a text. Miss you, babe. Stella glimpsed it before Summer snatched it away. Wrong number, she claimed. The lie hung heavy. That night, alone in her thoughts, Stella agonized. Confront now or gather evidence? Ethics clashed. Snooping felt wrong but deception worse. She chose confrontation. Over coffee the next morning, Stella laid it out. The photo, the text, the evasions. Summer's face paled. It's complicated, she began. The story spilled. The man was her fiancé, Mark. They'd broken up when she came out, but he'd moved to Chicago recently, begging for reconciliation. I've been meeting him to end it cleanly, Summer insisted. Nothing happened. Stella's heart shattered. Meetings? Behind my back. The betrayal cut deeper than family rejection. This was chosen hurt. They argued for hours, voices rising in the small cafe. You lied. Stella accused. How can I trust you? Summer countered. I was protecting us. He threatened to out me to my clients. The excuse rang hollow. Stella stormed out, mind reeling. Was protection worth the deceit? The moral gray area consumed her. Forgive for love or walk for self-respect. Isolation followed. Stella called in sick, curling up with her thoughts. Memories flashed. Summer's first smile, their confessions. But now tainted. Her brother reached out, sensing distress. Come home for Christmas. Tempted, she went, hoping for solace. The family tiptoed around her sexuality, but warmth peeked through. Her mother's hug, father's awkward questions about work. It contrasted Summer's chaos, stirring conflict. Family's conditional love versus Summer's passionate but flawed one? Summer bombarded her with apologies, flowers at her door. I messed up. Let me explain. They met in a neutral park, snow falling softly. Summer confessed more. Mark wasn't just an ex. They'd slept together once after her move, a relapse in confusion. I was scared of being fully gay, she admitted, tears freezing on her cheeks. Stella recoiled. Physical betrayal? The revelation was a gut punch. You used me as a safety net, she whispered. Summer denied it, but the damage was done. The fallout was brutal. Stella's inner world fractured. Love turned to doubt, hope to despair. She sought therapy, unpacking layers, societal homophobia amplifying personal wounds. You're grieving multiple losses, the therapist said. But Stella questioned. Am I overreacting? Or justified? Friends divided. Some urged forgiveness, citing Summer's trauma. Others labeled it unforgivable. A dramatic showdown came New Year's Eve. Summer showed up at Stella's party, pleading publicly. I love you. I choose you. Guests watched, tension thick. Stella's decision hung. Accept and risk more pain, or reject and face loneliness. She pulled Summer aside. You hurt me deliberately. Summer broke down. I was weak. But you've changed me. The vulnerability swayed Stella momentarily, but resolve hardened. I need time, she said, sending Summer away. Alone amid celebrations, Stella reflected. What price for love? The year ended in uncertainty, her heart a war zone of emotions. But seeds of strength sprouted, she'd survived family, now this. Yet the ache persisted, a reminder of choices' costs. January brought bitter cold and clearer minds. Stella distanced herself, blocking Summer's number to heal. Work became refuge. She threw herself into projects, earning praise. But nights were torment, replaying betrayals. Mark's shadow, Summer's lies. Inner debates raged. Was her love real or a crutch? Societal pressures echoed. Media stories of queer relationships crumbling under external forces. Stella wondered. Are we doomed by the world or our own flaws? Reconnection with family offered mixed solace. Dinners were tentative, conversations skirting her life. Her father admitted regret. I reacted poorly. I want to understand. Progress but conditional, no mention of partners. Stella pushed. Acceptance means all of me. He nodded, but doubt lingered. Inside, she battled. Compromise for family or demand full embrace? The moral tightrope exhausted her. Summer didn't fade quietly. Mutual friends relayed messages. She's miserable, getting help. Stella ignored them, but curiosity gnawed. One day at a coffee shop they collided, literally spilling drinks. Awkward apologies led to talk. Summer looked gaunt, eyes haunted. Therapy's opening my eyes, she said. I sabotaged us out of fear. Stella listened, heart softening. Everyone errs. But trust? Shattered. The conversation escalated into confrontation. You chose him over me, Stella accused. Summer refuted. It was a mistake, not a choice. They dissected motives. Summer's internalized homophobia, Stella's idealization. I thought you were my savior, Stella confessed. But you needed saving too. The admission bridged gaps, but wounds reopened. They parted unresolved, Stella's mind swirling. Forgive and rebuild or cut losses. Societal backlash hit next. A conservative relative outed Stella online, sparking family drama. Comments flooded. Pray for her. Humiliation burned. Summer texted support. I'm here if you need. Tempted, Stella replied, leading to meetings. Neutral ground, honest talks. Summer shared her past. Abusive family, forcing heteronormativity. Mark was safety, she explained. Empathy grew, but Stella questioned. Excuses or truths? A major decision loomed. Attend a family wedding. Her cousin's event where whispers would fly. Stella invited Summer as friend, testing waters. The night was tense. Relatives stared, father avoided. But Summer's presence steadied her. A dance floor moment. Hands touching reignited sparks. Later, alone. I miss us, Summer whispered. Stella pulled away. Trust takes time. Betrayal's echo resurfaced. Stella discovered Summer had confided in Mark during their rift, seeking advice. He encouraged me to fight for you, Summer claimed. But to Stella it was another layer of deceit. Argument ensued. You can't let go of him. Summer stormed off, leaving Stella in turmoil. Am I pushing her away out of pride? Healing progressed unevenly. Therapy helped Stella unpack. Love isn't martyrdom. She explored solo, joined queer book clubs, made friends. Independence bloomed, reducing Summer's hold. Yet longing persisted. A surprise visit from Summer's mother complicated things. "My daughter loves you. Give her a chance." The plea stirred ethics. Interfere in family, or stay neutral? Climax built at a protest against anti-LGBTQ+ legislation in Springfield. Stella attended, chanting for rights. Spotting Summer in the crowd, they united briefly. Passion reignited by shared cause. Post-event, emotions overflowed. "I want to try again," Summer said. Stella hesitated. With conditions, no secrets. Agreement sealed a tentative reunion. But reality tested it. Summer's work trip with Mark as colleagues sparked jealousy. "Trust me," she urged. Stella tried, but doubts whispered. A phone call overheard. Summer laughing with him. Confrontation. "Just friends." But Stella snapped. "Choose him or me." Summer chose her, cutting ties. Relief washed over, but at what cost? Spring thawed the city, mirroring Stella's thawing heart. Their renewed relationship bloomed cautiously. Dates? Therapy sessions together. Summer proved commitment. Deleted contacts, transparent schedules. Stella reciprocated, introducing Summer to family tentatively. Dinner was awkward. Father's stiff questions, mother's forced smiles. But no explosions. Inside, Stella marveled. Progress or facade? The moral ambiguity lingered, accept partial acceptance or demand more. Conflicts persisted. Summer's past resurfaced via a letter from Mark. "I miss our friendship." Summer burned it, but Stella saw the hesitation. "Why keep his memory?" she asked. Summer confessed lingering guilt. "He was collateral in my coming out." Empathy clashed with hurt. Understand or resent? Their talks deepened, exposing vulnerabilities. Stella shared her own. "I feared being alone more than being lied to." Societal winds shifted. A local scandal involving a queer couple's discrimination lawsuit. Stella volunteered, dragging Summer along. Advocacy bonded them but exposed differences. Stella's idealism versus Summer's pragmatism. "Change takes time," Summer argued. Stella countered. "At whose expense?" The debate highlighted growth, challenging each other without breaking. The ultimate test came midsummer. Stella's promotion required relocation to New York. "Come with me," she pleaded. Summer wavered. "My life's here." The standoff was dramatic, tears, ultimatums. "If you love me, you'll choose us," Stella said. Summer's decision, yes, but with resentment. Packing boxes, tensions simmered. Stella wondered. Forced choice or true? Settlement in New York brought fresh pressures. Urban anonymity freed them, but family distance strained. Calls home revealed regression. Father's reluctance to visit with her. Stella's resolve hardened. All or nothing. The confrontation via video. Accept us or lose me. Silence followed, then tentative agreement. Victory tasted bittersweet. Won through ultimatum? Their bond strengthened amid chaos. Summer's design firm thrived, Stella's career soared. But old wounds scarred. A night of reflection. Did I forgive too easily? Stella asked. Summer held her. We earned this. Yet doubts whispered in quiet moments. The story culminated in a quiet anniversary dinner. Toasts to survival, but Stella's mind raced. What if truth hurts again? As they walked home hand in hand, she felt the weight of choices, betrayals forgiven, damages paid. Was forgiveness a strength that healed them both? Or a weakness that invited more pain?